I'm now joined by our Chief Investment Officer, Scott Ladner. Welcome, Scott.
Hey, thanks, John.
Scott, I've been hearing a lot about this narrative of we're in late cycle. What are your thoughts?
You're not the only one that's been hearing about that. If you've been looking at TV or reading anything, the herd mentality has certainly been that we've been late cycle in both the economy and markets. There's been some reasons why people have been thinking that. We did have central banks hiking rates. We had some headwinds out of China. We had known unknowns like the trade war and Brexit, and people have this feeling that it's been a long time since we had a bear market.
That's interesting, but it seems that you're pushing back on that whole concept.
We do. We actually think it makes a lot of sense to push back on that because we don't actually think that we're late cycle. We actually think this may be a longer cycle than people had previously expected. We do have the backdrop of central banks having cut rates meaningfully over the last 9 months. We do have fiscal tailwinds, especially out of China, that are coming right now. We have the known unknowns that we talked about earlier about Brexit and the China trade war being resolved in a pro-growth fashion. And we also have some research that suggests that the time element with respect to the cycle dynamic really may not be a very relevant dynamic really at all.
That's interesting. Let's build upon the concept of known unknowns. We have a new one in the Middle East.
We do. The Iranian conflict is something that's new as of a few days ago. It's something that we need to start paying attention to. But really, history would suggest that the ability to look through conflicts, especially in the Middle East, would be the best thing to do for investments, for an investment manager, and for your portfolios. If you don't need the money in the next really couple months, it's likely going to be the best thing to be able to look through something like this. Because it's really in neither Iran nor Trump's or the United States' best interest to have an elongated conflict in Iran or in the Middle East.
Well, would you be remiss if we didn't speak a little bit about the presidential elections? What are your thoughts there?
It is something that we have to start talking about earlier and earlier every year. So certainly we are coming into the primary season this quarter. We do have Super Tuesday coming up on March the 3rd. After that, we're going to have a lot more clarity about who the Democratic nominee is going to be, or at least we hope to. But it is helpful to financial markets that we see somebody like Bloomberg being ascendant. Really, if it's anybody other than Warren or Sanders, not saying anything about their political views, but from a market standpoint, it's anybody other than Warren or Sanders, that's probably going to be a good thing for financial markets.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, John.
At Horizon, our core values are community, unity, ingenuity, gratefulness, and fun. Having said that, we're grateful to have you in our community. We look forward to seeing you again this year, and we wish you all the best in 2020.